Hello. So, it's 1 a.m. in evening, in morning, whatever. But I was just like really bothered by some stuff. I think I've been going into the rabbit hole. Like, if you really want to know about the history, but especially as a woman, when all of the history are written like majority of them were written by men. And I think for me personally, like it feel like we are living in the world that is made by a man for a man. It doesn't always like this. Like it's not always like this. Like because yeah, we go through different civilization, but what I want to talk about especially about is like the Emily Wilson Odyssey. Like, and it's the first translation of Homer by a woman, like English translation by a woman, the Odysseys. And then it just like I saw the comment and not surprised, it's all by a man. And the comment was like it doesn't like the translation of Emily Wilson. It's not faithful to the original Greece language of the Homer. Yeah, but and if you watch it, I think I have read the Iliad of Robert Vegas. Yeah, but what it means is that this man saying that translation should be neutral. Translation should be neutral. But are all the men before Emily Wilson that translate the Homer neutral? It's not. They are not neutral at all. Because it's really dangerous for women to read this and then just blatantly without discernment just accepting as they are. And you know why? Because most of the time, even this translation translating women as like when women are literally slave in the book, and then it changed into a maid. But like Emily Wilson stated that even in the Greece version, it's actually just means yeah. And even this man translation is not neutral at all. But this man and reader are foaming because it's different from what they read, like the translation from a man. Of course, it's going to be different. And I think that people that say that, oh, I am really over feminism, and I feel like this feminist agenda, this matriarchy ideology stuff, it's really tiring. If you are tired of the feminist agenda, imagine how tired women are. Imagine living in it, even when you are tired, that we are like constantly need to advocate ourselves. Imagine, yeah, we are also tired, all of the women that this advocates, trust me guys, women are tired too. But yeah, So I don't know, it just get annoying. But when I see, like recently, I really love like going into channel. If you know this one, like Patriarchy, I will link it. But everything that I told today, like take it as a grain of salt, because and it's not 100% like accurate. So please, if you want to know more about it, please do search, and I will link some of the reference down below, like the Emily Wilson, like the TikTok video, or the analysis, and also the like the YouTube links. Yeah, the YouTube links, and then also many of the references that I will talk more in the future. But even if I want to talk about this matter, when you want to talk about something that is not really popular, or it's against most of people in the community, you feel that resistant, like especially talking about feminism or women or things. It's like especially women are always growing, being oppressed in many ways, and maybe not I think everyone, women and men, are oppressed in different ways. Maybe men oppressed in their like the ability or the spaces, they are lack of space, that they are allowed to just cry out loud. They are not allowed to talk about emotional thing, because and that day when I figure out that it's hard to being a man when it's patriarchy, it make life harder for men and a women. And I've seen a comment that patriarchy is actually make harder for men. The life that is made harder is actually men's. And then back talking about like just I forgot what I want to talk about, but yeah, it will come back if I remember. But I think more just the patriarchy, and then the thing that we are oppressed. Like I was in the like back then when I was in university. This is safer later, but maybe women are being oppressed. For example, like you are too emotional, and then oppressed in a way that you need to be a good girl, and then maybe women, especially a girl, is not allowed to be opinionated, are not allowed to have opinion, especially opinion that are opposite of our like authoritative figure, like our parents and then our teacher. Especially when I remember that, especially when I was a child, like there are moments, that we want to ask question. It's not because we are a rebel, but it's because that we are curious, and we want to be able to have discussion and we want to be able to just know, just get the reasons, like the reason that are actually making sense, but making sense not only in a logical manner, but making sense in a way that it is emotionally makes sense. It's emotionally intelligence. It's not only always of the IQ, but the EQ. It's very important too. And if you think about it, being a man is hard in a way that, of course, that's why. And a psychologist told me that, like, this suicide, yeah, I think I need to search it later, but the suicide rate is bigger for men. Like, the person, the case of developing a serious mental health disorder, like serious cases, it's mostly a man. And it's one of the main reasons she said to me that it's because that, especially from a child, like they don't have any places, like they are not allowed or not culturally, like a man is that the role of a man, if you want to cry, like it's women, you know crying and like being emotional, it's all women do. That's what patriarchy teach, but it's not true. And I saw something funny that if men are allowed to cry, yeah, what if men are allowed to cry, and what if women are allowed to be opinionated? Like, I think this world will be such a better place and are such a, more harmonious and balanced. And remember, we are not against each other. Like, we are actually side by side. And then by being patriarchy, by diminishing women's, like you are diminishing yourself. Like vice versa. But patriarchy are not benefiting anyone if you think about it. Like it's make you suffer in the long run. And for example, in the patriarchy, like the man should be the provider and the women should be maybe like the emotional blanket, are like always like giving birth and then having children. But having, just imagine if a man, it's only the person that should make money, and that if you don't make enough money, you will feel like you're a failure. That's what I have observed. Like many men, especially, like tied their confidence with how much they earn, with how much material possession that they have, that they possess. And for women, for the material part, I think it's more of women are obsessed with being beautiful, and yeah, like the appearance is really important. And I think it's stemmed from the, like the regency, like back from our ancestor. It's because that women are not allowed to study, and that if we want to survive, we must marry, must rely with a man, like a father. Or if we want to survive, survive our life, if we want to have a house used to be, the rule is only a man that can like rightly own a house. So it's very important for women to get married. But how they get married first? If women want to get married, then first they need to have either they need to have a really powerful family background, like a high status, then it easier for women to get married because the political beneficial things. And number two, of course, if you didn't came from a wealthy family, then you need to be beautiful. Like, yeah. And then if you are not like beautiful to the standard, or and then you didn't came from the powerful background, it's harder for women in this time to get married. And that's why I think like the obsession, and then like so conscious of what the others think about our appearance, of what is a woman, what women should look based on the society at this point of time, what women should dress like, what should I look like, what should I dress like, what should I behave, how, yeah, just every single thing. It's always based on how I think, how, yeah, what will people accept me. I want to be accepted. Yeah, just I used to be wanted to be accepted by other people so much. And then I think that's enough for this rambling night. It's the first time I think like up shooting in the night. So good night. Thank you. Have a nice evening.